You're probably wondering how we got here. Honestly, so am I. It all started when I decided to make a game, and being the incredibly unique visionary I am, I set out to create an anime game. Not because everyone else was doing it, but because I refused to let my project down in a sea of quality copies. So I decided the best way to stand out was appearance. Alright, let's see up in the Roblox. Huh, I'm not seeing the cell shade button anywhere. Well, if I don't have to break my entire brain just to get something working, then this clearly is not Roblox Studio. So I did what any reasonable, totally sane developer would do. I will make one myself. For a while, I kept trying to find a way to make it work. I used tools in Blender that really shouldn't have been necessary, and I didn't really understand. Could Roblox just do it themselves? They have tons of resources and money. Is it really that hard to implement simple shader? So I had the idea to make a video about that. I ended up creating something that looked like a shader but was actually just a simple visual trick using material. If you want a fully breakdown, I already made a video about it, but the method had a huge problem. It worked on the whole scene at once. You could not apply it just to the player, so I hit the wall and had to look for something new. The first thing that came to my mind was to search for popular guides. Some of them tell you to set the lightings to your super high value, and while that doesn't look interesting, in games, the Backshot Roulette or Lethal Company, the effect you achieve with that is called posterization, not cel shading. So I keep digging and stumbled across a YouTuber named Kajuro. He shows it working but doesn't explain how it works. Even so, I could not stop theorizing. I spent weeks trying to crack it. The solution was just a bunch of images. They changed depending on the character's rotation and the light rotation. Incredibly simple genius, and somehow I almost went insane trying to figure it out. And with the begins the development, instead of creating a special material, I decided to go with a simple visual, just simulate something that looks like a cel shading. On the other hand, my new method only adds cel shading to the character. Still, it is very limited, and since the textures have to be done manually, I decided to only make it work with R6 as the simplest and the most used character type. Roblox uses texture to color models, objects, accessories, etc. And so I thought, why not the same for the shadows? I took an R6 character into Blender and separated it into 6 parts and manually baked each frame, but later I found a add-on called Sequence Bake, which really helped me. In theory, you can bake any model and materials, so that's pretty interesting. The idea is simple. I have a transparent, dynamic texture slightly larger than the original character. These textures are baked with a different lighting and should change it depending on the position of the sun. At first I want to use 36 texture, changing every 10 degrees, but it looked too choppy, so I doubled it into 72 textures. Now it updated every 5 degrees, which looks much smoother. I also added a few extra features. Shadows reaction. If the character's torso is fully inside a shadow, all texture turn dark. It fakes the look of a real shader. To change the shadow color, I use a special mesh. What is a special mesh? For example, a normal Roblox object with collision and physical properties are called mesh parts. In comparison, special meshes lack these physical properties. They don't have standard collisions, but you can scale them like a lot, change their tint color and make them glow. This makes them look like hologram effect cast by a device. Are you like a lesion or a hologram? You can control how often the texture updates and add with radius. The color changed, it reacts to the shadows, it optimized it and even added an outline. So I wrapped it all into a simple plugin. Add, remove, settings and full screen warning. That only are 6, so we need to change the rig type in avatar setting. You may have noticed that the plugin has suddenly become much more polished. My friend Psycho offered to help me with the programming. Psycho remade my plugin, I don't even know, tens of times, we actually lost count. There were so many versions that most of them are just gone now. Partly because of times, partly because Psycho keeps to reinstall Linux every other weeks and continues to do so. But thanks to his suffering, the full version of the plugin is actually usable now. As I mentioned, we added a proper settings menu. You can tweak pretty much everything. Shadow color, transparency, you can make them super sharp or barely visible, reaction, how it behaves when you stand in fully shadows, performance, update radius, snap degree basically, how hard it hits your CPU, We edit outline too. Color thickness, it all there. It might look like a lot, but I will explain the details later. For now, it's customizable, but I didn't feel like that was enough. I wanted to make something more innovative. I remembered that many people in our community tried to use my method specially for animation in Moon Animator 2. Two members, Zaku and Kazamu, had the most interested. They made me realize, okay, maybe someone actually needs this. So I got interested, and we basically started from scratch again. While the game plugin is optimizing for performance, the Moon Animator plugin has completely different logic. In the game version, shadows are glued to the character to save performance, but in the plugin each shadow part moves separately from the torso's rotation. This gives price control, which is critical for animation. It's similar to the method Kajuro showed, but it's fully integrated into your workspace. Sadly, just like the game version, it only worked with R6 right now. I decided to focus on perfecting the core functionality instead of rewriting everything for R15 immediately. But don't worry, we are working on it. Here's how it looks. First you need to start from, then create a new R6 rig. I will use the character insert from Moon Animator. After that, open the plugin menu, hit the last button, then select the character and click attach cell shade. To make the shadow update, you need to enable light sync. Now the shadows are aligned with the sun, but I wanted more control, so I added a shadow gizmo. You can add as many gizmos as you want and quick select them using the button in the menu or use the shortcut. As you can already see, it worked immediately when you move the gizmo inside the character's radius. The shadows change color and align with the cube. The radius can be changed using the last button in the menu. To use the gizmo to its full potential and understand why this system is not simple as the one in Kajuro, you need to understand every element of it. Let's start from the simplest element, the light part, which I previously called as the cube. This is a core element of the gizmo because it controls the character's shadow color, where the shadows need to rotate, and the transparency. For me, this workflow feels natural, but for some people it may feel illogical because the logic of the shadow seems more familiar to the logic of light. So you can invert it. If you enable the cast shadow, it will invert the character's shadows. Shadow gizmo is not its true name. I wanted the hierarchy to be simpler, so I usually call this part orbit, because the gizmo spins around the origin center. To add more variety and functionality, the orbit also affects the shadow. You will only see the difference inside a Moon Animator project. For example, if you change the transparency, it changes the brightness, making it look like a neon material. To create a true black shadow for more stylish look, enable cast shadow and set transparency to 0.05. This creates a stronger tint color. You can also set the light transparency to 0, which will make the character completely black. The outline has much simpler control. To be able to use this element, you need to add the outline to the select character, and then you can change the color, the transparency, and the thickness. The coolest part is that all of these settings can be changed dynamically in Moon Animator, which gives you much more control during animation. However, the outline system is inconvenient to rescale because you need to change the scale of the special mesh inside the outline part by using value. Also, for more convenient recording, all gizmos will automatically hide with the Moon Animator interface when you press Ctrl+H. Planned features. For the game plugin, I am planning to add R15 and NPC supports. For the Animator plugin, I am planning to add a shine gizmo, a pack of glasses with shine effect, and sun gizmo, and shadow mask. There are also plans to add compatibilities, roll blenders, so that you can generate the models you need with shadows by yourself. Also, if you are not a developer but love how it looks, I have the perfect solution for you. My friend is developed a game called Integrated Aerial Warfare. I am one of developer working on it. This game will apply new technique of the cel shade, which this channel not saw. All that is left is to polish the next method and present them to you as finished tools, so this time it should be faster, I hope. Again, there's no dates, it might come out a few weeks or months, but it will finish it. If you have any questions or suggestions, or if you find any bugs, join our Discord server and let us know. Also, thanks the Dominus Lux who helped me create this video for the help with spelling, translation and pronunciation. So while I was making this video, I used a simple plugin I created to change the fog quickly. I named it Fog Control and Daily Zoom, and I have published it for free in my Roblox group. You can use it to better present your work or just to get better shots for your own video, like I did here. Anyways, that's it for now, see ya!